Hello guys and welcome to this video on EIGRP neighbor requirements. So if we check this list here, we have some requirements for the neighbors to form in EIGRP. So we have the capability of sending and receiving IP packets, meaning they have to have an IP address configured. So even if it is a tunnel or sub-interface, that has to have an IP address for EIGRP to work. Also, they must share the same AS number as the neighbor. The connected interface should not be set to passive mode. Authentication must align, must be the same on both sides. K values must be identical. By default, they are identical, but if you change it, then the neighborship will not be formed. And also primary IP address must be in the same subnet. So let's try these configurations to verify. Let's start with router 1 here. So I already have configured EIGRP. Begin EIGRP. I think I have it already. Yeah, so it is configured. Show IP EIGRP neighbors. Alright, so now we have actually already a neighborship. So just configure them as default. And as you see here, I actually have autonomous system 1. So if we go to router 2 here and see what it has, let's go in here and see. So if we show run begin EIGRP, as you see, it has 1. So let's remove that. Let's see the list here. We can start with this one here, because of course if we move the IP address it will not work. So let's now router EIGRP 1. Let's see. So I have no neighbors. Let's do router EIGRP 2 network. Debug IP EIGRP 2. So I'm not forming anything. Let's see if I can see something from debug IP EIGRP 1. So you see that the neighbor is not forming, but I would actually like to see something happening here. Okay, let us reconfigure router EIGRP. No, router EIGRP 2, router EIGRP 1 network. So as we see, it has given us some neighborship. As you see, when I configured autonomous system 2, it did not form a neighborship. So this one is correct here. The AS number. The connected interface should not be set to passive mode. Let's see. EIGRP passive. Let's see. Router EIGRP1 passive interface. And it went down. So that is confirmed also. Let's do a no there. Alright, let's continue on. Key values must be identical. Let's see here. Key values. So let's see, the command should be metric weights. So we have here. So let us do the show IP protocols. Just to see what is enabled. So we can see here we have metric weight, we have K1, it is enabled, and also K3. The rest are set to 0, which is the default. So let's change that. Let's do metric weight. So let's do 1, 1, and let's see, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. I think I need to make some space here. Okay. So K1, 2, and 3, 4, and then we have the 5 here. As you see, we get a message here, the K value mismatch. Do show run and begin. Let's remove that. So no metric weights. Oh, I even typed 5 here, so interesting. Anyways, as you can see, that was an issue. So they must be identical. Now, let's see, do show IP in brief. We'll do the last one here. We will come back to the authentication part, but let's do this. Primary IP address must be in the same subnet. So let's configure show run IT1. Let's configure the secondary. You know what? Let's do this. Let's yeah, IP address 192.168.4.2, and we add secondary here. Let's go to router 1 and interface 1, IP address 192.168.4.1, and secondary there. Okay. So as you see, the neighborship is not removed. Let's try this. Let's no IP address. Let's remove every IP address. So let's do this. IP address 192.168.1.1. IP address 192.168.4.2, and we have, let's put one, let's make it secondary. Let's see if that works. As you see, if we check, let's turn off logging here. No, undebug all. Let's undebug all, and also here, undebug all. Alright. Yeah, it's blocked right now, the 4.2, because we don't have it on both sides yet. I will add it soon. I will just show you what it looks like when. So as you can see here, it's still forming neighborship, even though this one is the secondary and this one is the primary. So EIGRP does not care if it's secondary or primary, so long as it exists on the interface. So as you can see, this one is primary and this one is secondary, and they are still forming neighborships. Now we have it complain on this one here, so we will add it on that side too, and then it should stop complaining. Let's see. So let's do this. Do show run int IP address 192.168.4.1 secondary. All right. So now it is all right. Now we have both of them. So as you see, now we have a neighborship formed. Alright, let's try to configure the authentication. So let's go back to router 1. Let's look at the configuration here. And let's bring it up there. Alright. So let's create a keychain. My keychain. Alright, key 1, key string, Cisco. Alright. Interface gig 1, IP authentication, mode EIGRP 1, MD5, and then we have IP authentication keychain EIGRP 1 Cisco. Right. Now as you can see, it went down the neighborship. That's because I've configured authentication now. So let's configure it on the other side. So keychain my keychain key 1 key string Cisco, and interface gig 1 IP authentication keychain word of the keychain was, let's see, I think, IP authentication mode, EIGRP 1, there. IP authentication, keychain, and then I have Cisco here. This should bring up the so let's compare these. Let's see what I did wrong here. Show EIGRP neighbors. Show begin. So IP authentication key, keychain EIGRP1. And alright, so the keychain should be configured there actually. I did a mistake here. Key. Let's see. My keychain. Show run my key. Alright. So let's go back. Show run big key. Show run int key 1. So let's see here. No. So IP authentication keychain my keychain. And the same goes for router 1. No IP authentication keychain. Now they should form neighborships. Alright, great. So a mistake I did there was that I put the pre-shared key instead of the keychain. So now that is done, we have successfully configured and established a neighborship. So these were the points that we needed to cover today, just to see what needs to match for the EIGRP neighbor to form. Alright guys, so that was all for this lesson, and I hope to see you in the next part. Goodbye.